The change, which the government's described as a huge boost for the travel industry, applies to those arriving from non-red list countries. Wales will make the same change to their testing policy next weekend. Well, joining me now is Julia Bue-Said, who is the CEO of Advantage Travel Partnership. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. How much of a difference do you think this will make?
It will make a significant difference. We've been under restrictions for such a long time now. Every removal of any barrier really does help families, travellers start to think about travelling again in a much more frictionless manner.
How much has the cost of testing stopped people from travelling, do you think?
The cost is one thing, but the system is really complex. There are so many rules to navigate through, and so there's been a real reluctance for people to really think about travelling because it's been far too complicated. So the test is one thing. The move today with the lateral flow test, really changes the premise from about travellers paying around £45 for PCR tests. I mean, today you can get them for around £20. So, it all adds up, it all makes a difference. So it's one step further to resuming travel as we used to know it.
So you said that you think the system being complex is almost more of an issue than the money, the factor in terms of paying for tests. And the system's not going to be any less complicated, is it, going forward? It's just a different, cheaper test that you can get.
Absolutely. So it doesn't take out the complexities. I mean, what it does take out, so if you were taking the PCR test up until today, which you administer at home, so it's a self-swab at home, you'd have to physically pop that into the post or take it to the post office. With what's been announced today or what's in place today, you don't have to take that extra step. So you can do the self-administration at home, and then you do either a video call or you send a text to the provider. So it takes out a very marginal complexity, but it is the overall complexity of the system and the general process for travelling that is the barrier, as opposed to just the price. So there's a lot of other factors that come into account as well.
And it's a constantly evolving situation, isn't it? When we look at what's happened with Morocco banning UK flights, a reminder that things can change quite suddenly in terms of travel at the moment.
It can do, and I think what we are seeing, however, the Morocco incident was, really disappointing. Every country quite clearly, regardless of what the UK government decides, makes their own rules, so we have to be cognizant of that, which is why it's always really important to think about how you're booking, who you book with, make sure you're booking through professional travel agents who can really guide you, because as you say, it is complex, changes can happen, and what you don't want to do is be left on your own trying to navigate some of these rules.
Thank you very much for joining us.